Hello, everyone. My name is Brennan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. Welcome to Page Turners They Were Not, a Star Wars podcast. You don't need to be a genius to know that the world is in turmoil right now. It's very chaotic. People are afraid and nervous, and rightfully so. And things are looking down uh, for many, many people. Now, I wanted to talk about why Star Wars matters, especially right now. Well, Star Wars is ultimately a story of hope. It is a story of courageous people standing up and doing the impossible by being committed. But more than this, it's about the hope for a better tomorrow. Let us consider that the original film was renamed A New Hope. Luke and ultimately Leia being the new hope for the galaxy in a dark time. Star Wars has always been about hope. Even Andor, the darkest and grittiest of all Star Wars storytelling, is ultimately about hope. Season 2 comes out in 2 months. As dark and depressing as that show might be, let us consider what happens, where it's leading to. It is leading to the theft of the Death Star plans. And we know the rest of the story. Even as dark as Andor is, there is a ray of hope at the end. So when that show comes out in 2 months, just remember where it's leading to. All the shows, all the stories have been about hope. And hope right now is the greatest currency that we have, is hope. Now, hope is not a passive thing. At the end of Rogue One, when Leia says the word hope, we remember that that hope was not just wishful thinking. That hope was brought about by the actions of a few people. Hope is not wishful thinking. Hope involves action. Hope involves doing. So right now, I would suggest do what it takes to stand up for what's right. Hope involves us actually doing something. And all the Star Wars stories about hope are about courageous people doing whatever they can to stand up for what's right, even at the cost of their own lives. But Star Wars is about hope. It's also about choice. Every day, you and I have the choice. Are we going to help people? Are we going to lift each other's burdens? Are we going to encourage? Are we going to stand as beacons of hope? Are we going to do something good and kind? Or are we not? That's the bottom line. Is we have choice to either help or to hurt. And we need to use that agency every day to choose the good thing. Even if it's just a small little thing. Even if it's smiling at someone. Even if it's saying some kind words. Even if it's writing a letter to your local politicians. Simple acts like that. Simple acts of holding the door open for somebody. Simple acts of saying thank you and saying please. Kind actions like that are maybe more powerful than we give them credit for. So let's choose to do those things. These are the lessons that Star Wars teaches. And that's why it matters. Now, I've been doing this podcast for 7 years. And I've had people ask me, how is there that much to talk about in Star Wars? And my answer is, there are so many lessons, so many ideas, so many morals to these stories that you could spend your lifetime talking about them and still have more to talk about. Star Wars is, for me, is not just entertainment for the sake of entertainment. You go and watch it a few times, yay, okay. That's not how it works for me. I'm invested in this universe because every time I watch it or read it, I gain something new. It's an inexhaustible supply of morals, of lessons, and ways to live our lives that will help the world rather than hurt it. So that's why Star Wars matters. Um, I think that the biggest lesson for me right now is my favorite Star Wars quote. Qui-Gon Jinn says to young Anakin Skywalker, your focus determines your reality. Right now, reality looks grim for many people, including myself sometimes. But what I choose to focus on will define my reality. I choose to focus on good, on hope, on God, but not everyone has to focus on God, but the light, hope, and faith, and trust, and a knowledge that we cannot give up. Because if we give up, then the enemy wins. I choose to focus on the light, the good, my friends, the kind people I've met, the good people in this Star Wars podcasting community, many, many good friends that I've made in this community. Friendship, love, kindness. These are the things I choose to focus on. It has helped me in my personal life dealing with being handicapped. It has also helped me in public life dealing with the troubles that we're facing right now. There's a line from The Rise of Skywalker. Zori Bliss says to Poe Dameron, they win by making you think you're alone. So I would say right now, the good people of this community, my good and faithful listeners, you are not alone in this struggle. In life, in the struggle, you are not alone. But one last thing I'd like to say, another favorite line from The Rise of Skywalker is there's more of us. This is, of course, when that makeshift fleet, led by Lando Calrissian, comes to the rescue at the Battle of Exegol. The story of the heroics of Luke Skywalker has given hope to all these people, the good people, all the good people will fight back. There's a story in the Bible, in the Old Testament, the prophet Elisha. He was in a city, and suddenly that city was attacked by the Philistines, and they surrounded the city. And Elisha's servant said to him, what are we going to do? And Elisha said to him, they that be with us be more than be with them. And in a vision, Elisha revealed to his servant that there were chariots of fire of heavenly beings joining the fight against the Philistines. So, in other words, Elisha's servant could not see the hope, but Elisha did. And Elisha knew that no matter what evil forces combined against him, there would always be more good than evil. And there will always be more with us than with them. Like I said, Star Wars is an inexhaustible fountain of lessons that we can apply to our English. And that is why Star Wars matters, particularly in troubled times, especially in troubled times. And that is the hope it gives me, and it's the hope I hope that it gives you. That's why it matters. My name is Brendan Marr. That noise you hear is the ventilator. Thank you for tuning in to Page Turner's They Were my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you always.